In the spring of 2022, over $40 billion vanished from the crypto market in less than 72 hours. This is the story of how it happened and why it could happen again. Chapter 1. What is a stablecoin? To understand the Terra Luna collapse, you first need to understand what a stablecoin is and why the entire DeFi ecosystem depends on them. Most cryptocurrencies are wildly volatile. Bitcoin can drop 30% in a single day. Ethereum can double in a week. For everyday transactions, for lending, for earning yield, that kind of volatility is a serious problem. Stablecoins were the solution. They are cryptocurrencies designed to hold a fixed value, almost always $1. Instead of the wild swings of Bitcoin, a stablecoin stays at $1 or very close to it. There are three main types of stablecoins, and the differences between them would prove to be everything. The first type is fiat-backed. Coins like Tether, USDT, or USD Coin, USDC, are backed one-to-one by real dollars held in bank accounts. For every USDT in circulation, there is a real dollar sitting in reserve somewhere. These are the most popular stablecoins, and they hold their peg because they are literally redeemable for the underlying asset. The second type is crypto-backed. DAI, created by MakerDAO, is backed by Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies. Because crypto is volatile, DAI requires over-collateralization. You have to lock up more collateral than you borrow. It is less capital efficient, but the backing is transparent and on-chain. The third type is algorithmic. This is where Terra Luna comes in, and this is where everything went catastrophically wrong. Algorithmic stablecoins have no real-world collateral. Instead, they use mathematical formulas and market incentives to maintain their peg. On paper, it sounds elegant. In practice, it created one of the most dangerous financial instruments in crypto history. Chapter 2. The Rise of Terra Luna. In 2018, a South Korean entrepreneur named Do Kwon co-founded Terraform Labs. His vision was ambitious: create a stablecoin called UST, the Terra USD, that could maintain its dollar peg without any real-world collateral backing it. The mechanism was clever. UST was paired with a sister token called Luna. The system worked like this: if UST traded below $1, you could burn UST and mint Luna, reducing UST supply until the price returned to peg. If UST traded above $1, you could burn Luna and mint UST, increasing supply until it fell back to $1. It was a self-regulating machine, or so it appeared. Do Kwon was charismatic and aggressive. He publicly mocked critics on Twitter. He called skeptics poor. He built a cult of personality in the crypto community, and millions of followers hung on his every word. Then came the game changer. Anchor was a lending and borrowing platform built on the Terra blockchain. It offered something extraordinary: a 20% annual yield on UST deposits. 20%. When bank savings accounts were paying less than 1%, this was staggering. Money poured in. By early 2022, over $14 billion in UST was locked in Anchor protocol alone. The Luna Foundation Guard, Terra's reserve fund, held billions in Bitcoin reserves. The market cap of Luna soared past $30 billion. Do Kwon appeared on the cover of crypto magazines. Terra was called the algorithmic stablecoin that had finally cracked the code. The warning signs were there. The 20% yield was unsustainable. It was being subsidized by the Terra treasury, burning through reserves at an alarming rate. Critics pointed out the death spiral risk. If trust in UST ever wavered, if the arbitrage mechanism broke down, the whole system could unravel in hours. Do Kwon dismissed them all. Chapter 3. The First Crack. On May 7, 2022, someone began selling large amounts of UST on the Curve Finance protocol, one of DeFi's largest liquidity pools. Within hours, UST had dropped to 99 cents. Nothing alarming on its own. Stablecoins wiggle around their peg all the time, but this time it was different. By May 8th, UST dropped to 92 cents. Luna holders began to panic. The arbitrage mechanism kicked in. Traders burned UST to mint Luna, but this increased Luna's supply, diluting its price. As Luna's price fell, confidence in the backing mechanism fell with it. Anchor protocol saw panic withdrawals. In a single weekend, $5 billion fled Anchor. UST supply was exploding as the minting mechanism ran out of control. Luna's price was in free fall. The Luna Foundation Guard deployed its Bitcoin reserves, nearly $1.5 billion to defend the peg. Validators coordinated emergency measures. Community members proposed halting withdrawals. It was not enough. Crypto Twitter watched in real time as the numbers cascaded downward. UST hit 90 cents, then 80, then 50. Luna, which had traded at over $80 just days earlier, began its catastrophic freefall. The death spiral had begun. Chapter 4: The Collapse. Between May 9th and May 12th, 2022, one of the most devastating financial collapses in crypto history played out in real time, visible to anyone watching on-chain data. Luna's price went from $80 to less than 1 cent in 4 days. The Terra blockchain was forced to halt twice as transaction volumes overwhelmed the network. Exchanges scrambled to delist or suspend trading in UST and Luna. The Luna Foundation guard was depleted. The numbers are staggering. $40 billion in market value was erased in under 72 hours. Hundreds of thousands of retail investors, people who had trusted that 20% annual yield, who had sold other assets to buy in, who had borrowed money to maximize returns, lost everything. In South Korea, where Terra had a massive retail following, financial helplines reported a surge in crisis calls. Some investors had put their entire life savings into Anchor Protocol, believing they had found a safe yield in an otherwise volatile market. Do Kwon tweeted emergency proposals. He suggested minting more Luna to restore the peg, then destroying the excess supply. He proposed creating Terra 2.0, a brand new blockchain forked from the original. None of it stopped the collapse. By May 12th, over 1 trillion Luna tokens existed, up from 340 million just 2 weeks earlier. The hyperinflation was total and irreversible. UST was trading at 10 cents. The game was over. Chapter 5: What DeFi Learned. The Terra Luna collapse sent shockwaves through the entire cryptocurrency industry, and the ripples are still being felt today. In the months that followed, Three Arrows Capital, once one of crypto's most prominent hedge funds, collapsed, having made massive leveraged bets on Terra. Celsius Network froze all withdrawals and eventually filed for bankruptcy. Voyager Digital followed shortly after. The contagion spread across the industry like wildfire, taking down billions in assets and millions of investors with it. Regulators around the world took notice. The US Treasury Department cited the Terra Luna collapse in its proposals for stablecoin legislation. The European Union's MiCA framework, the Markets in Crypto Assets Regulation, specifically targeted algorithmic stablecoins, imposing strict requirements or outright bans. But crypto adapted, as it has always done. The DeFi community began demanding transparency, real reserves, proof of solvency, audited smart contract code, over-collateralized lending rather than unsustainable yield promises. The hype around algorithmic stablecoins died almost overnight. Bitcoin's underlying technology was unchanged. Ethereum's developers kept building. Layer 2 solutions grew faster than ever. The builders stayed, while the speculators left, and in time, the market found a new footing. Do Kwon was later arrested in Montenegro in March 2023, while reportedly attempting to travel on a forged passport. He faces extradition requests from both South Korea and the United States on charges of fraud and securities violations. The Terra Luna collapse is a story about incentives, about trust, about the difference between genuine innovation and financial illusion. In crypto, as in all markets, if a yield sounds too good to be true, it probably is. The question is never whether the music stops. The question is whether you are holding the bag when it does. Subscribe and stay informed. If you want more deep dives into the stories that shaped crypto, the hacks, the collapses, and the breakthroughs that changed everything, subscribe to Crypto Compass right now. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode. The knowledge you need to navigate DeFi starts here.